Okay, so we're going to do here another technique that allows us to create deformers mm, by putting joints differently. So these joints, for example, that I just created here were placed just for controlling the curve, but they are not for controlling um, the joint itself is not driving any geometry, it's the wireframe doing it, the wire object is doing it, which has its advantages and its limitations. It doesn't apply in other places. For example, the mouth, I think it would be better if I create a joint system. So I'm going to try doing that. I'm going to just play my screen here and then just go and show all there. I'm going to try to create some joints. And a good idea to try to do it is to say, you want to identify a good number of joints to give enough information to your geometry. So probably when I have one joint there, another one kind of can connect with this kind of high place there, another one right kind of the middle point there, another one right by the corner here, another one right on the opposite side of that corner. That way I can have enough control and separation there. One right here, one right here, one right there, and of course on the other side it'll be exactly the same thing. So let's try doing that. I'll just delete my drawings for now. I'm going to try to go and use my rigging, my joint tool. I'm going to try to just create my joints to see if we can snap them to, oops, not that, and make sure I create joints not snapping to the 16. Let me see if I can isolate this and make sure that when I isolate that, I have under isolation here, I have auto load new objects to see if that let me do it. Let's try one more time. So I try to snap to this one right there. That's one. Hit enter because you don't want to create a chain. I'm going to just do another one right here. I'm going to do the other one right midway there. I might snap it to the place because I'm snapping it to that corner, but I'm going to move it a little bit more here. Okay, I'm going to go and do another one right there. That's good. And maybe just move it up a little bit so I give you enough distance there. And then I'm gonna just do one right on the lower part. My character this far is a little bit far away, but when I create it on this one, I'm gonna just move it a little bit closer there. Just give it a second to wait for it to catch up. There it is. So I'm just gonna put it right there, and then one kind of halfway here, another one right there. Yep, sorry, forgot to hit enter. One right there, and one right there. I'm going to just try to go a bit faster and creating the other ones. So it will be there. There. That one I'm going to just move a little bit to match. They don't have to be actually on the vertex, but I'm using the vertexes so that it can snap there, so I don't have to be grabbing the joints and finding them again and moving them and all that, because it becomes time consuming. I'm going to just hit that one there, and then another one right here, but again I'm going to move it a little bit so that it kind of matches the halfway point there. Then I'm going to have the last one, we're going to snap right there. Okay, so I got those, and those joints will be driving my face. Now, um, I don't have my character bound yet because we're gonna create a whole skeleton behind it. So it would be a good idea to try not to bind them yet, because it would be a waste of time since we're gonna bind the whole character separately. Um, and people do this thing in different ways. Some people connect all joints to the main head joint, thus creating a big uh, kind of like a connection back to that head joint, just like that. So you create kind of like a webbing of, or like a radial connection of those joints to the main head, which is totally doable. It puts a bit more trouble or a little more headaches on the geometry. Um, but I, I seem to like the idea of better having some control over them, like adding them onto the geometry later on, so that we'll add the influence of them. And let me just try to suggest that right now. So what I'm going to do here, this is just as a test. It's not the actual thing. Let me just save my file first. And I'm going to pretend that my whole character is bound already. I'm going to detach the tongue because I don't want the tongue to be interacting with that. And now the tongue is connected, so I'm going to detach it temporarily. I'm going to bind my whole head to this just for this test. So I'm going to say, pretend that my whole character is already a skeleton. So I'm going to create a skin. I'm going to bind the skin. And I'm going to say to the joint hierarchy, geodesic should work. 3 joints is okay, bind the skin. So right now, my character has been bound, and I should be able to, move it back and forth. Of course, the body is following it, so because the body is not, doesn't have a skeleton, but in rough, the upper body is doing some work there. So now, what I can do here is just kind of lag in a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to try to bind those joints to this skeleton that has been bound to that geometry. So I'm going to try adding these joints to that geometry. So I'm going to just close this window here and then say skin, edit influence, add influence. So I'm going to open it up just to see it. I'm going to say add or apply better. Right, so that joint got added to that whole part. Of course, the joint is influencing a lot of stuff. So I'm going to just add this one. It cannot do all of them. I tried doing more than one at a time, and it didn't work for me. So I'm going to just try do one at a time. So of course that's affecting the, and I should have named those joints actually because I didn't create any names on it. So good idea to give a name to each one of them so they're not just simply generic joints. Okay, add those. And I think this one is already added. Yeah, so now all of them got a little bit of influence, so you can use them. Right now I have not done weight painting on them, so they are kind of like all over the place in terms of weights, but you can still start seeing already that you have control, because now what you can do is you can just go and say under your paint skill tool, you can start looking for those joints. Right now they are just called joint 1, 2, 3. I probably should rename them. So let me just try to do that first. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna not select geometry because it's gonna annoy me. So I'm gonna call that lower lip, joint left lip joint is I'm gonna call it 0 3 1 2 3 1 2 0 3. I'm gonna copy that name here. I'm gonna go here, and this one is gonna be 0 2, and then this one is gonna be 0 1, and this one is gonna be just lower b 0 lip. If it's low 0, that's fine. And then this one is going to be, this is right lip joint 0 1, and the names really is whatever makes sense to you. 0 2 0 3. This one I'm gonna call upper lip 0, and then of course gonna be upper left lip 0 1, upper left lip 0 2, upper lip 0 3, upper lip upper right lip 0 1, upper right 0 2, and upper right, let's copy that one, and this one will be upper right 0 3. So of course that means we need to have a bunch of weight painting to do here, and I'm gonna open up the tool. Now I have my names there, so I can start looking at what their influences are. And I haven't done weight painting for the jaw and all that. Probably I would want to start doing that first for the jaw joint, because the jaw joint right now doesn't have anything. The head joint barely has anything there. So I probably want to do the weight painting first before I add this one. Right now, these guys stole all of the weight of the rest of the head, so the head lost its weight painting. Let's see if I can. It is partially doing it, but it's kind of breaking it, so I lost all of it. So I need to go back and pretty much do the weight painting on my character, starting with, let's say, the neck joint. The color connect is going to be replaced. The neck joint is going to be this one. So I'm gonna try to use to add influence of that one. I think what happened was that my influence was a little too big when I did it. I'm gonna just use and add here, and then value of 0.5, that way it will be faster. Okay, so that's my neck. Then I'm gonna go my head joint. My head joint is gonna have to actually do a big region up here, because my head is gonna move pretty much all the upper part of the head. Okay, so making sure that I cover all of it. That's why it's probably a good idea to do this weight painting before you add any other influences. And you want to test the influence when you are adding the extra joints, because I think I went a little too high with it, so I removed some of my weights. Alright, I have this one roughly there. Okay, I'm gonna just go and paint maybe a 0.3 here, so that you have a little bit of influence over this region here. Okay, now I'm gonna just do my jaw joint. My jaw, of course, is going to paint down here. I'll do that again. And again, I'm just doing this as a sample because I have not done my whole body. So I'm just trying to add a bit more influence. Let me just try to test my other guys. So these guys are starting to lose the influence a little bit more because of course I've been painting the rest of the body. So it's a matter of going back and forth now and start doing the testing so that you can have enough control over this. For example, this guy is affecting the lip. So it means this guy is going to have more influence from that one. And you see it there at the upper lip and the lower you want the lower to have influence here. You want the upper one to have influence only on this one. And the lower one to have influence only on this one, not on that one on top. So let me go back and forth. There should do be more, and this guy start doing that more. Alright, so I start having a little bit better of a chance there to manipulate them individually. So yeah, there's some time to work. These ones have the same issues. These ones have the same issues. These ones should be a little bit better now. So I have control over that one. So now the key is I can try to create a set-driven key to manipulate that. I can try to create controllers here to do the same thing that I'm doing here. Only that in this case, I'm doing directly on the join, and of course those controllers, just do one quick controller here. So I'm going to grab, I'm going to borrow one of these guys here, frame it. When I'm going to remove it from my group, frame it here. I'm going to just grab it and snap it to that joint right there. Go to my V key. I'm going to rotate it around so that it matches the angle that it needed to be at. You can shrink it down a little bit there so that it doesn't bug you. And then you modify freeze transformation. You give it the right name, so this will be upper lip joint control 00, and then I might want just to need a bit smaller, and then of course create a constraint from that one to that one. That way you have this guy allowing you to move the lip. And of course this guy will be grouped to itself and probably become a child of the head controller, so that when the character rotates its head, now it's going to break badly because the weight painting is not done correctly, but you see now that lip is going with it. The other one's still behind because the other one is not rigged, but that one is going with the head. Okay, so that gives you an idea of how to do it. Other things you could try doing, I'm just going to try to show it quickly here, is you can create using your tools, your curves. So I'm going to create my curve tool here. I'm going to create a one linear, and let's say for example I create, make sure it shows all that stuff here. It's not creating my curve there, it's not showing it, it's showing it here. I'm kind of blindly drawing it, but that gives me an idea for me to now modify it here. I don't know why it's not letting me see it. It's not isolated or anything there. I was isolated here, that's why. Okay, so let me curve point here. There it is. Someone is gonna grab it and place it there. Quickly move, snap this one to that one. So I have a block that roughly can be, modify center pivot point, and I can use controllers that, if I freeze transformation this guy, modify a freeze transformation, and I would just say for example I would create a curve at the bottom. I'm going to grab that curve and move it to that location, somewhere near so I can use it. There. I'm going to just try to frame it there and bring it to, where did my character go? Too far forward. Okay, I'm going to bring it right there. I'm going to go to the side view better. Just for a moment hide my polygons, and I'm going to just put it right there, rotate it. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to create a version of the lip. Let's see if I can do this. Snapping is not quite working, but I should do it for now. Turn it off here. I'm going to just grab it right there. I'm going to just pretty much create a version of my lip here. So what I can do here is, let's say I create and I can go and draw actually my lip. Let's pretend I have the shape of the lip drawn there, roughly, as my guidance. And this is just a pure guidance, this is just nothing else but just me create, and you can do a much better job than I'm doing here, but gives the idea of creating the little interface. And now I can say, for example, I grab this guy, I duplicate it over. I have another version here. I duplicate it over and I create 1, 2, 3 right there. 1, 2, 3, and pretty much you do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to duplicate these two, move them over here roughly. These two, let me make this one a bit more aligned there. Duplicate that one, bring it over here roughly, and duplicate these two guys and move them over here. So I have kind of like a view of what my mouth may do, may look like, and I have this kind of little square right there. So I'm going to use freeze transformation all of them individually. So let me see if I can do them all at once. Maybe that will save me some time. Modify freeze transformation. So all of them have hopefully 0 out values. Yeah, and I'm not going to do the same thing. I'm just make sure I'm looking at my joints here, and I'm going to create now make sure these guys are frozen transformation too. Modify freeze transformation, so they don't have any changes there. They're already connected, so they pan out like that. But I can now make a connection between this guy and that guy, right? And it can be just a pure set-driven key thing, or just make a connection to drive its movement. So in this case, I could probably just make a connection, let's say from this guy. I made them very, very badly in terms of positioning. They're not rightly placed, so I'm gonna modify freeze transformation one more time. So I could say, for example, I can make a connection from this guy to this other guy, and I can just say Windows, generators, connection editor, making sure that both cases have frozen transformation. So this guy has 0 value here, and this guy has 0 value there. Scale is the only one that is not. I'm going to modify freeze transformation on that one more time. There it is. I'm going to create now a connection just in translate and make it so that it can translate in X and Y and in X. So I'm going to click on this guy here on the left, low the left, and click on the right, low the right. I go and look for the translate in X of this guy. Is going to move translate in X on the other guy, and same translating Y will affect translating Y. So now if I just move this guy, that one will do it there. So we have the possibility of having control over the mouth, not on the mouth but separately. And of course with this you have the possibility of creating different limits, so these guys cannot go places, but you could then allow people to manipulate the mouth separately from this thing, and you will do the same connection one by one. I don't have them all down out here, but it's going to take me a little bit longer to do it, but I hope that makes sense to you. You create a connection to that. This guy, by the way, this element and this element will have the same treatment as those above, and you can try just simply use grouping them. Actually modify center pivot point, and of course they can become part of your interface there. You can organize it whatever way you want it, or you can have it like next to the character, whatever it makes sense to you, and we'll talk about that more later, because right now, wherever this guy goes, this one is still connected to that lip right there. Alright, I'm just gonna do one last thing here. I'm gonna just make these guys template, that way they are not affected, and the only one they're going to be moving are these guys, and this guy, for example, wouldn't move on anything else but on X and Y, so that way I'll have it being able to be moved right there. Alright, hopefully that gives you an idea of how to work on it, and we'll just continue talking about it, because of course this is all made after you can create these connections right now, but if you are going to bind the whole body, you don't want to be doing weight painting yet. Hopefully that makes sense to all of you.